All right, guys, let's do this. What up? It's JoJo on the radio. This is the iHeartRadio Countdown. Jake, it is good to see you. How are you, Jake?
Man, I'm great. How are you?
I'm awesome. Now, here we sit in L.A. Of course, this countdown is national, goes everywhere. Where do you call? I know you're from Rhode Island. Where do you call home?
Yeah, so it's crazy. Born and raised in Rhode Island, and I'm still living there. Yeah, I just haven't made the move out, but it's been awesome.
Do you plan to move to, like, because a lot of artists do the fancy schmancy move to New York or L.A.? I'm not trying to, get you to move to L.A. here,
sure.
But you probably should. Are you thinking about that, or just going to stay Rhode Island?
I've thought about it a lot, and I'm pretty content with staying, but just traveling out here and there, it's honestly a lot of fun. I love being in my zone, in my kind of space. It's awesome.
Jake, I think we've talked about this before. I met you briefly backstage at Jingle Ball in L.A., obviously. Yep. Jake, spelled JVKE. Give me the backstory on that. Is it just you were just bored and you decided to change it up a bit, or just is there any kind of deep meaning to that?
Yeah, so when I first blew up on TikTok early on in 2020, everybody knew me as Jake Lawson, which is my name. But then we had a song coming out. It was my first song to release under my name, and it was called Upside Down. And so we were like, what if we put the A upside down?
Fair
and
enough.
So we just went with it, JVKE.
Were there any other, rejected, I ask bands this a lot and artists, were there any rejected stage names or stage names in your case that you just thought, man, let's try this, and I was just terrible ideas or whatever?
Yeah, I think when I heard this one, I was like, it's dope. We got to get the song out. Let's just do it. And, I feel like I should have put more thought into it, but, now that I have it, hey, it is what it is.
At this point, it's working.
Yeah,
so
sure.
Everything's all good. Jake, this album, which came out September of 22, obviously, this is what blank feels like. If for people who haven't, gone through the album, and by the way, there's, I think, 4 different chapters: love, heartbreak, sadness, and falling out of love.
Yes.
Talk about this album, and I get the feeling that it seems like it's like a chapter, like a book, like it's about something real, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, what can you say about it?
Man, so, as I was creating this album, I realized that there's a lot of different songs that I've been writing over the years, and a lot of them were inspired by key moments, and that's kind of what the 4 chapters are broken down into, is, the first time I'm falling in love, and then my first experience with heartbreak, and it just kind of informed a lot of the music I was creating. And so, I was just like, you know what, I feel like I should take people on a journey to get to know me and get to know my experience with a relationship. And that was kind of the whole story of my first relationship, from falling in love to falling out of love.
Now, clearly, no names required, but I assume this person clearly, obviously, knows it's about them.
Yes.
What was did you discuss, hey, I'm going to drop this,
yeah,
album out about you?
It was long ago enough to the place where I didn't feel the need to say anything. So,
by the way, for the record, I've talked about this, like I said, with several artists. I don't think you need to inform people. If you date someone that's a musician, an artist, a writer, and something goes kind of crazy, you're going to end up in the song.
Yes.
It's assumed risk. Do you agree with that?
Yes, I agree.
Any working on new stuff, or is it too early to get the,
Yeah, we're just really getting back into the studio. So I have a song that I'm working on right now. Probably will be the next single. So I'm really excited about that.
Jake, you started in quarantine, basically. And I read that somebody, I guess your secret that nobody knew because you weren't touring and whatnot, the big secret was you are 6'6". And the first time I met you, once again, backstage at Jingle Ball, and I'm a short guy, and I walk up and like, holy crap, that's Jake,
Yeah.
What's the reaction when people saw that you were 6'6"? What, give me the, when they first meet you, I don't know what they were expecting, but they got you,
Yeah, it's really funny. I think, on social media and on stage, you can't really tell how tall a person is.
Fair point.
If it's a big stage, you just kind of fit in with it. Luckily, everyone can see you, but they can't really tell you're that tall. But it's funny. Pretty much every time I meet somebody new, it's, they're looking to start a conversation of some sorts, and it's just the go-to. So I'm very used to it. I have to make up some sort of comeback when someone says, like, my goodness, you're so tall, because it happens more than you can imagine.
I bet. Now, it's okay. Just to make me feel better, I can see all the upsides to being tall, Jake.
Yes.
Give me a downside.
For sure. There's quite a number. The worst being on planes, you just don't really fit. For sure.
That's
which is tough because I have to travel a lot.
Oh my God.
And then, sometimes I'll be walking through my house and just hit my head on things. So that's the other downside.
On my side of things, if something's up on the top shelf, I'm the dude that has to pull a chair up or I got to jump.
That's fair.
So
there you go.
So there's all right. Jake, when did you realize Golden Hour? Of course, it's just massive at this point. But if you can kind of rewind a little bit, was there a moment like a holy crap moment where you thought, dude, this thing is happening?
It was funny. I had played the song for a number of people. Some people really liked it. Some people were just kind of indifferent. And so I wasn't really sure, how it was going to react when we posted it. I even my managers were like, we don't really necessarily think this is a single, but hey, we like the song. And so we dropped it, and I said on record, I was like, this is my favorite song that I've ever released. And so, as it was starting to bubble up, it was just crazy to know, what I love is what people love. And
that's a good point.
That's it really boosted my confidence to know, when I'm in the studio, just trust my gut, because sometimes I can, overthink a little bit. But yeah, it's been an insane ride, and I'm so glad this is the one that people are connecting with.
There's something magical about this track. I don't know if it's a spiritual thing or something. I know it's in relation to the sunset and whatnot. I've heard you talk about that, but it's something about it, dude. So I guess, trusting your gut.
For sure.
Absolutely. Jake, are we talking tour of sorts? Any near future? I don't know what you can say or can't say, but give it to me, dude.
So it's funny. I had posted about my 2 shows in New York and LA, and I was like, if we sell these out, we're going to do more cities. And we did sell them out. And so the answer is coming soon.
Yeah, fair enough.
And so we're really excited. The shows were great, an absolute blast, and I just can't wait to get around the U.S. and meet people, and then eventually, hopefully, around the world. So yeah, stay tuned on that.
Is it wild to do a show, and in reality, it's a bunch of complete strangers. You don't know 90% of them, probably.
Right.
But they're singing every lyric you've written in your basement or wherever. It's a bizarre thing, right?
Yes. No, it's insane because a lot of these lyrics, I was writing them, just kind of for myself and just kind of enjoying the moment. And then for people to, there's certain songs that you're like, man, people know this one. That's crazy.
Right.
But yeah, it's an absolute blast. And I feel, to know that the music's connecting to a place where they're listening all the time and they know the lyrics is just so rewarding as an artist.
I bet. And final question on touring. Out of the limited touring you've done so far, do you enjoy road life so far?
Yeah, no, the best part is being on the stage, having fun, just really, I love playing music and jumping around in my studio anyways. So it's just kind of a hyped up version of that. I love it.
Jake, you went to college, I hope I got the story right, to be a music teacher, which your mom was a music teacher, I believe, still, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you dropped out of college after you got this publishing deal. If that's true, what was at that time, what were the parents' reactions?
Yeah, so luckily I had started pretty young. I knew at a young age if I was going to really pursue this that I'd have to really cut out certain things in my life. And so when I was 16, I was really committed to it. And I knew, with my spare time, I was still in high school. I quit my basketball team in order to do that. And so that was one of the first things. And then eventually I was going to college and, with music industry stuff, college won't necessarily get you exactly where you want to be just alone. Right. And so I was like, you know what, I'm going to go out, I'm going to take my chance. And there was a few things that really confirmed hey, you're on the right path. You should just keep going. And so, yeah, my parents were definitely, probably a little nervous. They didn't really express that, but luckily I was still really young. I was actually 2 grades ahead. And so I dropped out of college when I was 17, I guess. So,
oh, wow. Okay.
Yes, but I already had a year and a half in. So, it was great. But yeah, my parents were super supportive. It was awesome.
Golden Hour. I mean, this track, dude, I don't even know where to start. We played it so many times, and it's such a great story. What else do you think people need to know about Golden Hour?
Golden Hour, I wrote the song just kind of about appreciating a person and their beauty and just really taking in all the little details. I feel when you really appreciate someone, you start to notice all of those things. And so the song's very descriptive. And I just hope a lot of people are able to have a special moment with their significant other, just, singing the song with them. And I've heard a lot of amazing stories about that.
Isn't that crazy? Now, when you think about this track, this is really, you've had other tracks, but this is really, it's really launched your career in a big way. You're going to be singing this song till you're 100, dude.
Yes. I'm so okay with that.
Another story, I don't know if it's true or not. Your father's a pastor, right?
Yes.
and you only listened to, I guess the terminology is the worship music until a certain point. I think it's when you stole your brother's iPod.
Yes.
And you start clicking around and you're like, oh my God, there's Drake among other artists. Talk about that whole story and what was Pop's reaction? Because I know a lot of pastors and some would be cool with that. Some would be like a little strict,
Yeah.
What was his take?
So it was funny. Yeah, I was just kind of opening up to the world of music when I found that iPod. There was a lot of real just hard hitting beats, and that's when I think I really fell in love with music. And I always thought it was the coolest thing, and so that was actually what really got me started into making music. Was I was just making hip hop beats, and then it was always a dream of mine to work with hip hop artists and stuff like that. And so I always just wanted to be behind the scenes. But, to me, I wanted to kind of make that crossover because that's still, the most important part of my life to me. And so, I just want to really bring that kind of authenticity to everywhere.
And your Pop, when you decided to, I don't know if his I guess he kind of knew at this point where your musical heart was, but to go from, a church kind of based music to Drake, some of his lyrics, completely different.
No, absolutely.
So he was cool with that? Or?
So with what I was listening to, there's certain songs that, are just too much, and I can't, in good conscience listen to them. But, it was awesome last night when I was performing in LA. I was able to actually sing a worship cover of a song that really impacted me, and it was a really special moment. And so, being able to do stuff like that is awesome.
Have you ever been, and I know you've met a couple of people, you did the Jingle Ball tour and people are running in and out of this tour. Have you ever been starstruck?
Starstruck. Yeah, for sure. It was funny. I was walking at Jingle Ball, and there was a number of people that I met that I was like, wait, this is insane. And now I've actually got to connect with a few people. But one for sure was Jack Harlow. So sick. I'm a big fan, and I hope to work with him one day for sure. But yeah, and then also a while back when I first had some stuff happen on TikTok with Upside Down, got to meet Charlie Puth, and he did a remix, which was insane. Yeah, and so definitely huge fan of Charlie.
What was that moment where there's one? I forget whose dressing room you were in. I think it was either yours or Alicia Keys.
Yes.
And give me that when she walked in. Well, I don't know what was set up and what wasn't. But,
yeah, absolutely. No, yeah, that one was a little bit of a setup, but she is the most amazing, just kindest celebrity ever. Just I cannot, tell you more about it. She's just amazing, and so. She invited me on to just perform with her on the piano,
God.
It's Alicia Keys playing the piano with you is I think that was the most starstruck moment for sure. Is I almost lost it. I looked over, she's right there. I'm playing. It's yeah, goodness.
What is my life? Jeez. Yeah, I've met her a couple times, and every time you meet her, you're like, dude, I feel like I know her. She knows me. Have I met her before? And she makes you feel like you're the only person there in a way.
Yes.
All right,
so
Jake.
True.
Yeah, you don't know this about me. We've only met this is our second time meeting. I am obsessed with the paranormal, ghost, UFOs, everything in between. I've got a podcast called Paranormal-ish. I mean, I'm way clearly off the deep end. Have you, Jake, ever had anything you consider a paranormal encounter?
Paranormal, I'm not sure, but I'm definitely a very spiritual person.
Right.
My faith is central to who I am, and so
which is why I find this question interesting, because I'm the same way.
Yes, yeah. And so there's this Bible verse that talks about how we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against powers and spiritual authorities and stuff like that. And so, that to me, I definitely believe that there's spiritual forces for sure. Yeah,
100%. I went through this haunted museum in Vegas the other day. It's part of our podcast, creepiest place ever. I carried a Bible with me the whole time.
There you go.
I mean, it was terrifying. Would you consider on tour staying in a haunted room? If there's a lot of beautiful hotels you'll be staying in. A lot of them, not all, but a lot of them have a history, and there's that one room. Don't stay in there. You'll never guess what happened in that. Would you consider staying in one of those rooms and reporting back?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm not afraid. I know I got God on my side, and so yeah, bring it on.
All right,
I mean, it's not on me, but He's got it, so I'm good.
If you do stay in a room and something interesting, let me know.
I got you.
Fair enough. 2 true or false questions. I think these are true. I hope so. And so random. Favorite restaurant in your hometown is a restaurant called Wienorama.
Yes.
Please, what's the Rhode Island? What town? And give me some details on Wienorama.
Yeah, so Weedorama is right around the corner from my house, and I go there pretty often. Growing up, and now just like my dad loves going there, so I'll just go for breakfast with my dad.
Oh, so it's not hot dogs?
So it is breakfast, but it's also hot dogs, stuff like that.
For
so
breakfast?
You can, well, if you want, but like they got all of them on deck. It's awesome, so good.
All right, and another true or false. Well, this one's not true, but you are Tyler from Wednesday. From the series Wednesday.
Yes, I wish. He killed the acting there, but that is, I've got that quite a bit recently. It's so funny.
I was going through your Instagram and I saw you post it, and it didn't dawn on me when I was watching the series. Great series, by the way. And he was great.
Yeah.
I've never met him, but God, I mean, I don't know how tall he is. So maybe that's a thing if I met you in person. But you guys look like you could be related for sure.
Yes, absolutely. And that's something that's funny. Like, people point out lookalikes, as they start to see me more. It's like, oh, you look like this. And it's kind of cool. I'm like, oh, that's really crazy because I really do look like him.
Have you met him at all? Or?
No, but we connected on social media, but we should definitely link up soon. I think he's here, actually.
You gotta. You guys have to, for sure. Have you ever made a noticeable on-stage mistake? Everyone makes mistakes. We're all human. But have you ever done one where even the audience was like, oh, crap, I don't think that was supposed to happen?
There's a little Easter egg here. But for my show, I was wearing socks, and I was very nervous. I feel like it's bound to happen at some point, but I didn't slip yet. I was very scared, though, of not slipping. But the other day, there was this song, it happens to all artists. It's like you just forget the lyrics somehow. It's like, my goodness, they're gone. And you
wrote them.
Yeah. So the key is you just put them out to the crowd, let them sing them for you.
So smart, man. And then there's no way to really prepare for it unless you have a teleprompter.
Right.
Which you can't. I don't think you want to do that every song, I guess.
Right.
Hey, it happens. Jake, before I play number one, your family, your friends, the crew that's been with you forever, what's their reaction to this success so far? I know it's early in your career, I get that, but what's their take on all this stuff going on?
Yeah, it's cool because I still live in my hometown, and so getting to see family, friends, all the holidays, stuff like that, I'm spending with them, and so it's really cool. I knew things were really moving, but once I started to do some of the bigger things like Jimmy Fallon and Madison Square Garden, like, then people started realizing my life. They're like, wow, this is actually happening. And so, it's been amazing. And I've been able to invite people to shows and, just hang out and, it's been amazing. I think the support system is so important for me. And so,
what about teachers? Like teachers, because you're not too far into high school, really. When you think about it.
Yeah, no, there's a number of people in my life, and I actually made a few TikToks with them, just showing them my music and really bringing it full circle. So it's been cool.
And is your mom? I think your mom. I think I read she's kind of TikTok famous now. Is that?
Yes. No, my mom is absolutely. She's I owe her my life because without her I wouldn't be here.
Yeah, literally. Yeah. Final question. Same question to you. What's your reaction to all this craziness going on?
I'm just such a fan of writing songs. I love making music, and now just knowing that people are ready and waiting for new music is all I can ask for. It's honestly just a blast, and so that's what I'm most excited about.
Quick recap, Jake. Golden Hour is out. The album This Is What Blank Feels Like. Got to check that if you haven't already. New music coming soon. Tour coming soon. You're going to stay in a haunted room for me, I believe. We confirmed that earlier. What else do people need to know about Jake?
I am just excited with everything happening. A lot of people don't know, but artists, like if something big happens, they're kind of swamped with all sorts of different things, and it's easy to kind of get away from the music. But right now, just kind of finishing this last leg, and I'm getting back into the studio. And so just expect lots more music. I want to be writing 3-5 songs a day. That's my vibe. So I'm really excited.
Are you still producing for other artists as well? I mean, you did quite a bit of that, to my understanding.
Yeah. I pretty much just write as many songs as I can. If it works for me, cool. If it doesn't, then we'll send it around.
Fair enough. Jake, great to see you. At the end of every interview I do, fist bump to make it official.
Let's go.
I am.
There we go.